afternoon and welcome. Welcome indeed, yes, to another edition of the Mark Moses Show podcast. As we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Yes, take back control of your life. Call them today. It's Anidjar and Levine. And joining me right now is Philip Rossman-Reich with Locked On Magic, Orlando Magic Daily. And we got to talk about the update we got about 20 minutes ago. Yes, Franz Wagner sidelined again. Man, I don't want you on right now to talk about this, Philip, but how you doing today?
I am doing okay. I'm slowly migrating my sleep patterns to be on the West Coast because the Magic are on the West Coast. So we don't even, we're not even talking to the Magic for another week because they're already out in Sacramento getting ready for Thursday's game. So some bad timing and some bad news as you start the second half of the season.
All right, tell us the latest. What happened today with Franz Wagner?
Yeah, so the Magic announced that after further imaging and further diagnosis that Franz Wagner was still experiencing soreness in the high ankle sprain in his left ankle, left foot. That has kept him pretty much out except for 4 games since December 7th. And so the team decided that it be in their best interest, it'd be in Franz's best interest to shut him down. He will be out indefinitely. He'll be reevaluated in 3 weeks. There are, I believe, 6 weeks left in the season. So we're looking at Franz Wagner missing at least half. He's going to be the 3 weeks is 11 games. He's going to miss at least half of the remaining 29 games on the schedule. So the Magic are going to have to find a way to win without Franz Wagner for the rest of the season, most likely.
How disappointing is this overall to the season for the Orlando Magic?
Yeah, it's incredibly disappointing because literally all that the Magic have been saying, like Jeff Weltman said this after Thursday's game, Jamal Mosley has hinted at this. They haven't seen their team at full strength. I think they played something like 150 minutes over 13 games together this season. This is after last season. They played only 97 minutes and 6 games with Jalen Suggs, Paolo Banchero, and Franz Wagner. For the last 2 years, the Magic just have not seen their players, their best players together. And when they've been together, there's been at least some signs of how good this group can be, but they haven't been able to put them on the floor enough to say like, oh, this is going to work. This is the path forward. This is our way to a championship. And it's been frustrating to watch because, you take out one piece and everything seems to crumble. The Magic haven't been consistent. They're 14-15 in the 29, I believe it's 29 games or 14-15 since Franz Wagner's injury in December. They're 1 game under 500 since Franz Wagner's injury in December. They've essentially been treading water, and this is a time when you want to be building and getting ready for the playoffs, and the Magic haven't been able to do that because they've been in limbo waiting for their players to get back.
Okay, I know you're not a doctor. It's okay. I still respect you, Philip. What is the best case scenario if you're Franz Wagner and the Magic during this stretch run?
I mean, the best case scenario is that giving Franz 3 weeks allows for the ligaments or whatever it is. I forget exactly what a sprain is, but it gives whatever's wrong the chance to heal again. And the chance to just be 100, 110, 150, 200% healthy before he steps out on the court again. That is the best case scenario. And then we're talking about him being back at the end of March, which I think is a really critical part of the schedule the rest of the way for the Magic. And then leading into the playoffs and perhaps the play-in tournament at that point, perhaps the playoffs at that point. That is the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that they'll evaluate him in 3 weeks and he needs surgery and that dips into a summer. The probably likely scenario is that the Magic just decide, like after 3 weeks, like it's either getting better or it's not. We're in the fight for the 6th seed or we're not. And the Magic decide, you know what? It's better to just save this for next season. Take your time, get healthy, have a full summer, and sit out the rest of the year. It would not shock me if we have seen the last of Franz Wagner this season.
All right, without Franz, over the next 3 weeks, no matter what happens, what do you need to see from this basketball team?
I need to see 2 things. First, this team needs to get back to its defensive identity. Look, Franz Wagner, in my opinion, is an all-defensive team level player. And he's a big part of what this team is trying to do defensively. Anthony Black, though, is still a very capable defender. And Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, defense, two-headed monster on defense, should be enough to be better defensively than they've been. They've been 20th in the league in defensive rating since December 7th when Franz Wagner got hurt. The other thing I need to see Paolo Banchero step up and be a star. It is, Paolo's numbers look okay. Like he's averaging 21, 22 points per game. He's averaging career high rebounds. He's averaging, about the same assists he averaged last year. He's averaging a career high true shooting percentage. So even though there are issues with his shooting, he's been shooting more efficiently than ever before. And his numbers are like right in line with where he's been throughout his career. But the Magic signed Paolo to a max extension. And that doesn't kick in until next year. So he's not on the max yet. He's still on the rookie contract. But they signed him to a max extension. And the guy that's on a max extension, you should be your best when he's on the floor. And granted, the Magic are much worse when he's off the floor, but the Magic aren't necessarily good when he's on the floor. The Magic need a better version of Paolo Banchero, and we'll see if he, spent his break kind of getting himself back into that shape or getting his mind right to have a good close of the season like he did last year.
Tell us about the West Coast trip. What's coming up here?
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting and tricky West Coast trip. All 4 games are winnable, and that's rare to say when you go on a West Coast trip. You're playing Sacramento on Thursday. Sacramento's on a 14-game losing streak. They are the worst team in the NBA. I think they have 12 wins this season. First game after the All-Star break could be a little squirrely. You never know what's going to happen. You guys have been off for a week. This is a game that I think, it's a must-win game. You cannot lose to Sacramento. You got 2 games against Sacramento. Those are 2 games that you should be able to put in your back pocket and say those are wins. The Magic cannot afford to be the team that the Kings snap that losing streak against. This is going to be a real test of how serious this team is and, just how focused they are. Like, this news is devastating to them. We'll hear from them in practice at Sacramento, and I'm sure they'll talk about this. But they've got to come out and show, like, hey, it's going to stink missing Franz, but we can still accomplish our goals. We can still get out of the plane. We can still be the 6 seed, the 5 seed. We are still talented and good enough to take this leap. That's what they have to go out and prove on Thursday. Then they face a tough Phoenix team on the road. Then they face the Clippers and the Lakers. The Clippers will be on the second night of a back-to-back. Clippers no one knows what they're really doing, but Kawhi Leonard's playing at an MVP level right now. And the Lakers are the Lakers. They got the star power that you got to be careful about. The Magic will have their work cut out for them, and getting a split on this road trip is essential.
Tell us about your coverage moving forward, buddy.
I mean, we're still in the grind, man. Like, I took a little All-Star break, took a little bit ease off the throttle. This news this morning, changed that a little bit. I'll have a look at Paolo Banchero and what he needs to do. And obviously, I know a lot of Magic fans are in despair right now, but you're only game and a half out of 6. You're a half game up on Miami. The goal is to avoid the play-in, and that is the only goal that matters right now. The Magic are still very capable, in my mind, of doing that, but they haven't shown that they can over the last 2.5 months.
Yeah, they're only, 6 games out of the 4 seed? 5? It's not.
They're 5 games out of 4. They're 4 games back in the loss column to Cleveland. They're 2 games back in the loss column to Toronto in 5th, and they're 1 game back in the loss column to Philadelphia in 6th. And I believe they're 2 games up on the loss column to Miami. So even though Miami's a half game behind them in the standings, Miami's got 2 more losses. So the Magic still very much, I don't want to say control their own destiny. Like, they have to win games. They'll need the other teams to slip up. But if the Magic play the way that we know they're capable of playing, they could still avoid the play, and they could still be the 6th seed. They could climb as high as 5. Now, I'll note this too. They're 3 games behind Toronto for the 5th seed. They're 3 games ahead of a really hot Charlotte team in 9th. So they can't afford to drop a lot of games. They should be looking up. They should be looking down. But if the Magic come out slow, if they struggle, we could be looking at a team that misses the playoffs entirely.
Where's the video of you running on the beach like Paolo posted? Where's that, Philip?
I don't like the beach. I hate the sand. The sand is rough. It's coarse. It gets everywhere. You know what? You won't see me anywhere near any sand.
Thank you so much for doing this short notice. I know your nose is stuffed. I know you're under the weather.
I'm struggling to adjust to West Coast time already.
It's okay, man. Philip Rossman-Reich, thank you for the update on Franz, and good luck on your second half coverage. All right.
Appreciate it, Mark.